My name is Sven and you're watching Pulse episode 30. It's time for some Starcraft news. Blizzard has just released the Starcraft 2 gameplay primer, the final entry in their series of Starcraft 2 spotlight videos. Narrated by the Adjutant, this video covers the basics of base building, deploying and commanding your forces, and executing those all-important strategies. It's pretty interesting, and for those of you just getting into StarCraft 2, it's probably something you should check out. You can find it at the StarCraft 2 official websites or just check the links below. SteelSeries has just announced that their StarCraft 2 keyset is now fully compatible with their new Shift keyboard along with their older Z boards. Everyone already using the keyset and those of you who have yet to pick one up now have a bunch of new options available. To celebrate the announcement and to show off their love for all things StarCraft 2, SteelSeries are having a StarCraft 2 day on their Facebook page. So you can head on over to the SteelSeries Facebook page right now to enter the StarCraft 2 competition themed Your Most Epic StarCraft 2 Moment. Check that out below. The 2010 Video Game Awards by Spike TV have announced their nominees, and well, after seeing them I gotta say this is definitely a good year for Blizzard Entertainment and StarCraft 2. StarCraft 2 was nominated for the Best PC Game of 2010 along with Mass Effect 2, Civilization 5 and Fallout New Vegas. Along with that already impressive feat, Blizzard has also been nominated for the Studio of the Year of 2010. Blizzard will be competing with Bungie, BioWare and Rockstar San Diego, so it's not going to be an easy win. StarCraft 2 was also nominated for the Best Multiplayer Game of 2010 along with Black Ops, Bad Company 2 and Halo Reach. The voice of Sarah Kerrigan also received a bit of love in the form of a nomination. They said that they've not finalized the most anticipated game of 2010 just yet, so you guys better get voting because Cataclysm could be on there too. You can read all about those awards and Blizzard's success below. A fan recently posted on the StarCraft 2 forums about his dislike, or rather intense hatred, of stalemates in StarCraft 2. What is a stalemate, you ask? Well, if you try base trade with a Terran and then run back to defend your own base, leaving him to lift off his flying buildings, fly them to the corner of the map, and then you're left with no minerals, no main, and no way to take out those flying buildings. It's not often that it happens, sure, but when it does happen, it is pretty irritating. So what do? Do you wait many hours till one of you is forced to quit? Blizzard replied and said they understand the frustration and irritation of the players that this happens to, but they also say that this can be avoided, and they are right. So they also say there are a lot of questions that need to be answered before they can step in and do something, and should they step in and do something, they want to make sure they do the right thing and that it won't impact the game in any negative ways. So in short, Blizzard knows about it and they are considering their options. Check back here later for more on that. GomTV has replied to Gosu Gamers about the issues that European players have been having while watching their streams of the GSL. They replied firstly by saying sorry for any inconvenience, and then went on to say that their servers are located in the US, and that makes it a bit harder to cater for the European players. So they didn't give any concrete answers, but they are aware of the issues and they are working to do something about it. You can read more about that over at gosugamers.net or just check the links below. The GSL 3 is carrying on steadily with the first 3 playdays nearly finished and more coming this week. We are, if you are just catching up with the news right now, in the round of 64. I'll start today by talking about the upsets instead of those that did make it through. So, who didn't make it? Hey Pro, Rainbow, Kirix, Hope Torture and The Wind have all failed to make it through to the round of 32. So who made it through, you asked? Well, the GSL 2 champ Nest, Sen, Foxer aka Marine King, Maka Prime, Rain, Genius, Ret, and the GSL 1 winner Fruit Dealer are some of the big names that did make it through. The rest of the playdays in the round of 64 are going to be completed this week, so if you want to know more about that, there are a bunch of good posts below covering all of it. So as the GSL organizers said, the 2011 leagues are going to be divided into classes, with Code S being the best of the best of the best of the best. Quite a few players have done enough to get their Code S, and quite a few are still in limbo. The guys from the GSL have clarified all of it. Players that are definitely going to be Code S: Nest, Fruit Dealer, Zenio, Kirix, Hope Torture, Marine King, Ensnare, Boxer, Live Forever, Maka, Nada, Inca, Genius, Hong Ung, and SSKS. Along with those players, there are a couple of others that could be getting Code S, but that all depends on their performance in the GSL 3. It's said that 32 players will qualify for Code S, and below that, another league called Code A will be instated for following 64 players. So I guess if you want to read more about the technical mumbo jumbo that is the GSL 2011, you can do that below. The TV AllStar event that was held this past weekend was won by the big name Zerg player Kirix. In the finals he met up against everyone's new favorite Terran player Marine King, or Foxer, and he took him down with a pretty decent 2-0. There were a lot of huge names participating in this tournament, so these guys did incredibly well to make it all the way to the finals. A quick point to note, to the surprise of many, TV actually released the replays from the All-Star event, so you can find a link to all of those below as well. In some smaller news, Lucifron took the second SK Champions Trophy, the Black Dragon League's first 2 qualifiers have been completed, and the group stages for the EGG 1-Star League Winter have also been completed. You can read more about those smaller stories below in full detail. The top 200 lists have been updated once again, and this time, as promised, I've included the Southeast Asia region as well. Ever wondered how the Korean pro teams live, what the conditions are like, how they prepare for big tournaments such as the GSL, how strict their practice schedules are? Well, gaming website Giant Bomb has some interesting videos up where they have a look at some of the pro teams' living quarters, the GSL, and have a couple of interviews with some of the players. These videos are really interesting, and the interviews with big players such as Nesty, Zenio, and Idra definitely make it worth it. They also, as I mentioned, take a look around the OGS/Team Liquid house and speak to some of the residents there. You don't want to miss this. Check it out below. The Koreans are going to DreamHack. Yes, I said it. Due to visa issues, Brat-OK won't be attending DreamHack, and due to the GSL 3, Idra also won't be attending. To replace them in the tournament, OGS Inca and Huck have been invited, and apparently Inca is bringing his teammate Top with as well. Top will actually have to play in the Bring Your Own Computer qualifiers, unlike Inca and Huck who are already in the tournament. So you can read more about the DreamHack drama below, and be sure to catch the event live this weekend. Torch, the big name foreigner who currently lives in Korea and participated in the round of 64 of the first GSL, has joined the big Korean pro team Startail. This makes Torch the first foreigner to join a Korean pro team since the launch of Starcraft 2. That's a pretty decent achievement he unlocked right there if you ask me. You can read more about that below. PC World has an interesting interview with Idra up where he talks about the GSL, the MLG, and his day-to-day life in Korea. Needless to say, the bad boy of Starcraft 2 never fails to entertain. You should definitely check that out below. Compito caster Drool was interviewed by the guys over at Compito, and Tarson has joined up with the clan Millennium. The latest Liquid Weekly has been released, and as usual there's a bunch of great news in there. They mostly talk about the GSL 3 and their players in it, but they also have a nice little talk with Huck, who is actually competing, as I said, in DreamHack's tournament this weekend. You can also read about the new and impressive looking Team Liquid headquarters in New York City. So as usual, it's 100% awesome and 100% worth checking out, so find it over at teamliquid.net or in the links below. H to the ASCII Husky has surpassed 300,000 subscribers on YouTube. That's crazy. So to celebrate the big 300k, Husky along with Kurt Hugo Schneider made a music video. Not just any music video though, this is a cover of Justin Bieber's Baby. This song is, as you can expect, about Starcraft 2 and more specifically Banelings. It features Husky rapping, a Lamborghini, some dancing girls, and various other quirky things. You should definitely check that out over at Husky's channel or in the links below. So let's check out what's been happening locally. Chase has, once again, retained his title as Grudge Love King of the Hill. The best of 5 series that was played on Sunday was plagued with quite a few technical issues, but I'm not going to get into those right now. Chase took the challenger Silva down with a pretty impressive 3-0. After playing the first 2 games as Protoss, he then switched to Zerg and proceeded to win the last game in a Zerg vs Zerg mirror match. Instead of giving you an entire battle report, I'll just give you a link to the replays below and you can watch them at your own leisure. We may have another challenger set up for Sunday already, so keep checking back here for more on that. The Polar Fluke December tournament has been announced. Polar Fluke Xmas is here and is set to be the biggest and baddest, in a good way, you know, bad street, that kind of way, tournament that South Africa has ever seen. So as it is happening in the most festive of months of the year, It's definitely going to be having some pretty substantial prizes. It's open to everyone, and even if you're not going to play, you can still join us the weekend to check out the video stream that we're going to be having for the December competition. The prizes have yet to be announced, but as I said, I've been told that they're going to be something special. So for any other details regarding the tournament, you can head on over to the new and improved Fluke website at polofluke.co.za. You can also find that link below. Fujin is back, yes indeed. This time they're presenting us with the Starcraft 2 Devastation tournament. This is their second Starcraft 2 tournament, and it's going to be taking place mid-December. They're going to be taking up to 64 sign-ups to compete for the title of Supreme Devastator. So if you're keen to check it out, you can find their site below and be ready on the 18th and 19th of December. More tournaments are always good. They're probably once again going to have some great prizes, and I'm pretty sure there are going to be some great players playing too, so I can't wait for that. So that's all the StarCraft news I have for you this week. I know, sad. Leave a comment, share it, favorite it, like it, subscribe. All of that stuff helps and is greatly appreciated. Most importantly though, remember to StarCraft happily.